So WWDC is around the corner. It's gonna be live this Monday. And here's what I want the new iPadOS to do. Firstly, the file management situation is really bad. The Finder on the Mac is much better than the Files app on the iPad. I really want to micromanage my files. If I want to use it at my primary computer, I need that access. But sadly, we don't get that on the iPad as of now. I wish we could get a Finder for the iPad, but that's not gonna happen anytime soon, as Apple will of course try to keep iPadOS and macOS separate. And being very honest, I don't really want the full macOS experience on the iPad because it defeats the purpose of the touch interface. But it will be great to see if Apple does that. But they won't do that. We all know that. So don't keep your hopes high in terms of that, because iPadOS 26 update was massive. We got many things like floating windows, multitasking with the stage manager, and also the traffic light controls so that we can have a proper menu bar and stuff like that. And speaking of that, the multitasking situation is really bad, I'll be honest. The stage manager is good, but it doesn't provide me enough flexibility. So much that I actually turned that off. After a few weeks of using that, I felt the limitations. It was very weird to adjust and do stuff like that. So I don't really like the stage manager they have added. I like the split screen multitasking more. I really wish that they give us a macOS like multitasking experience as well, because when I'm switching between apps, it can be really uncomfortable and annoying, to be very honest. And another thing that iPadOS 27 can do better, I feel. Currently, we can only have one audio stream playing on your iPad. So for example, I'm playing Spotify and I want to do something else, like edit a video or something like that. I can't have two audio sources playing at once, and that's really annoying. And I hope they address this issue, but I don't want to keep my hopes high as well over here. And also I checked out Reddit to see what other people actually want. So one thing that came across was the external monitor support. So as many people use their iPad as for their primary computer, so when you plug your iPad into a monitor, currently I have my iPad Pro over here, as you can see. So when I plug this into my monitor, the thing is that the iPad can't be set as a secondary device, the secondary display. It is gonna be your primary display and the monitor is gonna be an extension to that. Most of the time, many things just open on your iPad and not on the display, so that kind of is annoying, to be honest. And currently it only supports only one monitor. So many people are requesting for a second monitor support so that I can connect my iPad to a dual monitor setup like I have on my PC right now. Also, this is something that doesn't really affect me personally, but I'm seeing a lot of people asking, is to have multiple user profiles. macOS has that, Apple TVs has that. So you can have your own customizations on every profile. So for example, if you and your brother shares the iPad, then you can have a profile for yourself where you can set things up the way you like and he can do it similarly. So that is a good addition, but not something I would require because I'll stay alone. So yeah, that's out of the question for me. But still, I feel iPad is not gonna do that because they would want you to buy another iPad instead. Like if you have an iPad, they would expect your brother to have an iPad as well, just like the case with your iPhone. So I don't think Apple is gonna have multiple user profiles as of now. So now that's out of the way, let's talk about what all is kind of rumored in the iPadOS 27 update. Biggest thing that they have been working on is the Siri situation, because Siri is really bad, as you all know. I can ask it to do some basic things and it just does a Google search for me instead of giving me the answer. So Apple is trying to fix that, improve Siri. And to be honest, I personally stopped using Siri because it's not really great, as we all know. I can just talk to ChatGPT or Claude for that aspect. But the only rumor I feel that's gonna stick, and there is a strong chance of it coming to iPadOS 27, is of course the third-party AI thing that they have. As per this website called Mac Rumors, who of course deliver Mac Rumors as the name suggests, so they have clearly stated that Apple will let users set third-party services default for Apple Intelligence like writing tools and image playground. And we all know that Apple signed a deal with Google for the Gemini integration in order to improve Siri and the Apple Intelligence as a whole. But let's see how that pans out. And also I was reading this article and I saw that there are multitasking refinements that iPadOS 27 is trying to bring, where the multitasking situation is gonna improve a bit, but it's not really gonna be like the one I just said in the start of the video. It's just gonna be a minor tweaks and bug fixes, to be very honest. And other than that, all the rumors suggest a more stable iPadOS, because there were a lot of bugs in iPadOS 26, being very honest, and that needs to be fixed. But all in all, this is not gonna be a major overhaul that we saw from iPadOS 18 to 26, because 26 was the first real iPad upgrade where we saw proper Mac-like features with the floating windows, the menu bar. I personally never thought I'll be able to see that on an iPad, but they actually did, so that was a good sign. But I just want them to further polish it. And like I mentioned in the start, Apple has clearly stated that they won't be merging macOS to iPadOS, because iPadOS is more customized towards touch and macOS is not. But at least let us use some good apps. That's what I want to say, because I know many people who want VS Code on the iPad If not, at least get us a proper terminal access on the iPad. Many people are requesting that, because if they want us to use the iPad as a pro machine, we need pro apps. I can say VS Code is not really in their control, but at least they can give us a good version of terminal over here. And speaking of that, Final Cut Pro on the iPad has improved, of course, but it's still not the same as the macOS version. So the M5 chipset is here on my iPad Pro, same as the MacBook Pro. So at least give us a Final Cut Pro version that actually feels like Mac. That's what I want to say, because it is a software Apple makes and they have full control over that. But somehow they're still gatekeeping that for the MacBook Pros and the Airs and stuff like that. iPad needs that. I feel they're still not going to do that because they want to push the MacBook Neo a bit currently, because they just released that, and that is the first budget MacBook in the lineup ever. So they will have to keep a separation so that people actually get the MacBook Neo. In terms of business standpoint, I can agree to that decision, but as a consumer standpoint, as a reviewer standpoint, I don't think that's gonna pan out well. People would want certain things to do on their iPad Pro M5. It has the power, but Apple is clearly limiting us with the software. Just give us access to pro apps, nothing else. I want, to be very honest. That is the least and the bare minimum I really want from the iPadOS. The last thing I expect is AI slop. I don't want AI features everywhere in the iPadOS 27, because with how things have been going lately, there is a high chance that iPad might be filled with AI slop, and that's just gonna be sad, and I don't want that. And also Spotlight. The Spotlight search on the iPad is crap. You can just search for apps and articles and stuff like that. Can we get a good enough version like the macOS on iPadOS as well? The Spotlight search, at least, that's not that tough, Apple. Come on, do that at least. Don't give us macOS, just give us basic things like keyboard customizations that we can set for apps that we can do on macOS, again, not on iPadOS. So these are basic things that Apple can add whenever they want. And lastly, Apple needs to optimize their battery drain a bit, because whenever you do some intensive tasks like editing videos and stuff, the battery drops really fast. And in my earlier videos, I saw many people commenting about the heating issues in iPad Air when they open Apple Notes. Why Apple Notes in specific? I've seen comments where people are saying that GoodNotes is working fine, Notability is working fine, but Apple Notes heats up. I didn't really face that issue myself, but if people are facing that issue, that is something wrong in Apple's part. It's their own app, they have full control on that. So these are certain things I wish they fix in iPadOS 27, but that's not very likely. And by the way, I will drop a full breakdown of all the new features of iPadOS 27 once the WWDC is done on my main channel, that is. So I'll cover everything in much more details. But this was kind of a wishlist kind of video, like what all I expect from iPadOS 27. Even though I might not get it, there is no harm of me yapping about it at least. So that's what I did over here. So anyways, if you don't know me, my name is Prithviraj and this is a new channel of mine. I run a tech channel that is over like 170k subscribers. This is gonna be a more natural and raw kind of channel where I can speak my heart out. I don't have to worry about anything. I can speak whatever I want, hot takes, tech news and everything. So let me know in the comments what all you want to know. So I currently have been working on a video where I want to share my experience on the Whoop in a more natural way, like what all I actually feel and not a standard review kind of thing. It's gonna be more personal, and also my thoughts on the Google Fitbit Air. So that acquisition has kind of been very weird in my parts, and yeah, I'm gonna talk about that real soon. So yeah, please subscribe to this channel of mine, and if you want to see the rumors about iPad 12 Gen, like what happened to the base iPad, we were actually expecting one to launch this year itself, then you can click here on this video and check that out as well. But anyways, that was me, and this is my new channel, PR75k Unfiltered. So more unfiltered content is lined up for you, and I'll be dropping them soon. So yeah, see you there.